Hello, this is Eric of Spark eStudio, and welcome to my review of the Neewer Basics FL-10, which is basically a flashlight with 20 gobos. Gobos will give us a unique look so we can have a background behind us, but first let me show you what's included while I show this in the background. Included is a USB-C to USB-C type cable for charging this device. A cleaning cloth, I guess, for cleaning the lens. The pouch for this I threw away because it's aluminum alloy. Do I really need a carrying bag for this? You decide on that one. And by the way, this was a self-purchase and I saw it and it looked quite interesting. The FL-10 includes a 1/4-inch mount, another 1/4-inch mount. On the back end of this Gobo flashlight, there is another 1/4-inch mounting hole that is much deeper to hold it nice and secure. USB Type-C for charging of its included battery is 7,500 milliamp hours. The button to turn the power on and off as well as change colors and brightness control. Now let's turn this on quickly. Hold down the button and you see that green light, that means there's power left. It'll be red flashing or just red when the batteries are dying. I've never got there yet. And the batteries at full brightness should last us about 2 hours, which is pretty darn decent. Right here we can extend and close the tubing of this. As we close and extend, we'll notice it's quite stiff. Now that's a good thing as well as I guess it could be a bad thing in a sense, but we're going to adjust. Let's say if I want a certain adjustment, it's not going to move out of that adjustment accidentally unless we want it moved. Let me show you what these gobos are. We see a dull side and shiny side right here, and this is one that we include a pile of them, as we can see all over. But yeah, I'll show you how this connect in a moment. But this gives you an idea of what's included, all tons of them. As I mentioned, 20 of these gobos are included. Some are more unique than others. And some are just basic as we see, like this, and like this, and like this, and this, and this, as well as this, and here we go. In order to attach the gobo, we open this up, get the flashlight, slide it into place. Well, of course we can attach it without it being attached, but this shows you how it goes on to place. Next, we'll notice that it has a little tab on this, and we're going to have that facing up, so we're going to have to slide it into its home, which is quite hard to do while on camera because yeah, it's flimsy. So let's do this on the main camera. I haven't broken any of these yet, but if you're using this in cold and then mounting in extreme cold, expect to break that plastic because it'll come fragile, of course, in the cold. That's what you're going to set up first. Right now, my RGB flashlight is about 1 meter away. I'll move it to 1.5 meters away. Can you see how faded that is in comparison, especially if I want to light myself properly? Now, if I extend the tubing to make the image smaller, we also get more brightness, so we can have it further away. Now, for mounting this, I'd recommend having a ceiling mount and having, see, this is about 1 meter away from the curtain back here. And do you see how intense that is? That's pretty good, actually. And I'll now pull the tube in. So I could extend it and keep it about 1 meter away and have some decent brightness. This I'll mount to a tripod like so. And this is how you see me using this. When I actually have this set up, I actually just have it tripod mounted with this 1/4-inch thread on. Now, one thing to note is the threading holes are not hugely deep. So I do have, at least in this particular situation, I do have a little bit of play that it's not like super tight, but that's going to be what you use is going to make that difference. Now this should be off the side, out of the way, but it's on the side of me. You have to be mindful of where it is compared to your camera. See, if I pull it here or back there, it gives a nicer illusion if I could ceiling mount it, but I can't, and that will extend this corner versus the corner right here. If that works for you, awesome. Now let's go to a couple of these other gobos to see how this looks. Maybe switch a few colors while we put those other gobos on. And here it is on this flashlight. Now, one thing I must note is we can turn the front end without turning the back end, and that is going to allow us, even if mounted, to turn this. So if you want your image changed, there we go. There are only several different colors. So we have the red, blue, white, orange, and red again. 1 meter away, which is a little over 3 feet away, at 3.33 feet away. Let's adjust that brightness. Okay, I'm going the wrong way, and there we go. I'm dimming this here, and let's see if it completely turns off. Just very, very dim, and it goes to much, much brighter. Let's put this behind the camera, which will be about 3 feet. Well, we'll put about 3 meters away. That's about 10 feet away for those that are American and some of the Canadian folks out here. And at 3 meters away, this is so washed out despite its 100% brightness, unless we're in a dark room, that it really makes no sense. So let's turn the lights off just so we can see what this looks like with the lights off and the computer monitor off. This is with the studio lights turned off. And this is what it looks like with no lights on. The body of this flashlight is aluminum alloy, and it does a great job of dissipating the heat. And for me, if my hands are cold, great job for this. Now, it's not going to get so hot it's going to burn your hands. No problems with that. There is no cooling fan with this. This is simply a value option to add some extra look to your footage and your background to make it not so plain. Like, this is pretty plain. This adds something a little bit more to my footage and my background. So this might be a nice gift idea for you yourself or one of your friends that has a little small studio setup like myself. Now, if your camera is way out and you really can't hide this much, you could put it above and therefore still use it. Just note that you want to be within a meter. You might be able to get away with 1.5 meters away, but when you get further than that, it gets so dull in terms of image, it just won't show up and it will be quite worthless. And of course, you can use this on a white background as well, but the color you choose and the background color will make a difference for how it looks for what you're trying to do. So be mindful of that. If you have a blue background with a blue light, it probably won't show up, but at least we have a color option in this matter. For me, I think blue looks pretty snazzy against that white background. When it comes to battery life, at 100% brightness, I found myself getting around 2.5 hours or so of battery life. In terms of this green light, it'll change to red at 30%, and when at 10% or less, the red light here, which will no longer be green, will be flashing red. So note that one. But how about charging via USB Type-C? Well, your charging time is going to take several hours, so note that one, probably about 4 hours up to max. So note that one. Your charge time is going to be one of your greatest disadvantages if you're looking for a quick charge, but of course you can always charge it partially and then keep going with your video and your light in the background. This is an affordable option. Most gobos and lighting, you're looking at $500 plus, even $1,000 for a lot of these different systems. Yes, those will be much brighter than this, but this is a value option and a good one at that. I recommend mounting above, because mounting it above is out of your way, out of your camera scene, and therefore it's just plain convenience and allows you on each and every video to have it in the same spot every time, and there you go. Because without you, this channel is nothing. Don't forget to check out other videos on lighting if you're looking for lighting for your studio, because I reviewed several different lights like this RGB light from Neewer as well. Of course, self-purchased, and these beside me are of course self-purchased. These are the HB80C and the HB80B. If you're lighting up your studio, you may want the bicolor version and not the RGB version if you want a lot more brightness, but enough of that. We'll go on to that on another video. Thanks again for watching, and have yourselves a most wonderful day! We can always make this creepy by shining a red light from down below. Creepy looking scenes. But that's not the point of this RGB flashlight now, is it? Okay, I'm done here.